Some car brands went out with a bang. Others went out with a whimper. But they all went out. Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Plymouth, Saturn, Mercury, Saab. These names used to mean something. They had decades of history, loyal customers, and in some cases, they were still building legitimately good cars right up until the end. Today, we're looking at the last cars these dead brands ever made. Some of them deserved better. Some of them were already outdated. And some of them were so good that it's criminal they didn't get a chance to save the brand. Let's get into it. Number 1. Pontiac G8 GXP 2009. Pontiac's last car wasn't some watered-down crossover or a rebadged Chevy. It was a 415 horsepower rear-wheel drive sedan with a manual transmission. The G8 GXP was everything Pontiac had promised to be for decades, and it showed up just in time to watch the brand die. The G8 GXP was essentially a rebadged Holden Commodore from Australia. Same LS3 V8 that powered the Corvette, same rear-wheel drive platform, same 6-speed manual option. This was a legitimate sports sedan that could run low 13 seconds in the quarter mile and still fit a family of 5. Journalists loved it. Enthusiasts loved it. And it came out in 2008, right as the financial crisis hit and GM was circling bankruptcy. Pontiac was officially killed in 2010 as part of GM's restructuring. The G8 GXP, which had only been on sale for about a year, became an instant collector's item. Only 1,829 were ever built. And today, clean examples command serious money because people finally realized what they missed. The G8 GXP proved that Pontiac still had it. They just ran out of time to prove it to everyone else. Number 2. Oldsmobile Aurora 2003. Oldsmobile died quietly. No dramatic bankruptcy, no scandal. GM just decided the brand was redundant and shut it down in 2004. The Aurora was one of the last Oldsmobiles built. The second-generation model was actually a competent luxury sedan with a 4.0-liter V8 making 250 horsepower, clean styling, and solid driving dynamics. But Oldsmobile's identity crisis had been going on for years. They couldn't figure out if they were sporty, luxury, or something in between. By 2003, nobody was cross-shopping Oldsmobile with BMW. The Aurora ended production in March 2003. The very last Oldsmobile, an Alero, rolled off the line in April 2004, ending 107 years of history. The Aurora wasn't a bad car, it was just a car nobody asked for from a brand nobody remembered caring about. Number 3. Plymouth Prowler 2001. If you're going to die, you might as well go out weird. The Plymouth Prowler was Chrysler's attempt at a retro hot rod for the modern era. It looked like it drove straight out of a 1930s custom car show. Open wheels, low stance, wildly exaggerated proportions. The Prowler had an aluminum body and frame, independent suspension, and styling that made people stop and stare. The problem, under all that visual drama, was a 3.5-liter V6, making just 253 horsepower, paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission. No V8, no manual. A hot rod with an automatic minivan engine. Still, the Prowler got attention. It proved Chrysler could build something daring. And when Plymouth was officially killed in 2001, the Prowler became the final car to wear the Plymouth badge. Production ended in February 2002. Only about 11,700 Prowlers were built total, and the final examples have become collector's items. The Prowler was weird, impractical, and underpowered, but it was memorable. And for a dead brand, being memorable is better than being forgotten. If you think the Prowler deserved a V8, let me know in the comments. I'm curious if that would have saved it. Plymouth at least went out trying something different. This next brand went out building the exact same car they'd been building for 30 years. Number 4. Saturn Sky Redline 2009. Saturn was supposed to be GM's fresh start, a new kind of car company with no haggle pricing, plastic body panels, and a friendly dealer experience. By 2009, none of that mattered anymore, and Saturn was dead. But before they shut the doors, Saturn managed to build something genuinely fun, the Sky Redline. The Sky was Saturn's version of the Pontiac Solstice, a small, lightweight rear-wheel drive roadster with a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine making 260 horsepower. The Redline trim added upgraded brakes, suspension, and a limited slip differential. The Sky Redline could hit 60 miles per hour in around 5.5 seconds, handled like a go-kart, and looked sharp doing it. It proved Saturn could build something other than plastic-bodied economy cars. Saturn was killed in 2010 as part of GM's bankruptcy restructuring. The final Sky rolled off the line in 2009. The Sky Redline is now a cult favorite among enthusiasts who appreciate what it was, a genuinely good sports car from a brand nobody took seriously. Number 5. Mercury Grand Marquis, 2011. The Mercury Grand Marquis didn't just die. It outlived its entire segment, outlasted all its competitors, and then finally retired because there was nobody left to compete with. The Grand Marquis was the last of the Panther platform cars, body-on-frame, rear-wheel drive, V8-powered dinosaurs that Ford had been building since the 1970s. By 2011, every other automaker had moved to front-wheel drive unibody sedans. The Grand Marquis just kept doing its thing. It had a 4.6-liter V8, a bench seat that could fit 3 across, a trunk big enough to hide bodies in, and zero pretense about being modern or efficient. Ford killed Mercury in 2011, citing brand redundancy. The Grand Marquis, in continuous production since 1983, built its final unit in January 2011. The Grand Marquis was never cool, never exciting, and never apologized for it. And it lasted longer than almost every modern competitor from that era. Mercury died. The Grand Marquis became a legend. Number 6. Scion TC/FRS 2016. Scion was Toyota's attempt to sell cars to young people. Boxy styling, affordable prices, and a focus on customization. For a while, it worked. The XB became a cult hit. But by the mid-2000s, the brand had lost its way. Young people weren't buying new cars anymore. So in 2016, Toyota quietly folded Scion back into the main brand. The last Scion models were the TC and the FRS. The TC was a sporty-ish coupe that appealed to exactly nobody. It ended production in 2016 with minimal fanfare. But the FRS, that one actually hurt. The FRS, developed with Subaru as the BRZ, was a lightweight rear-wheel drive sports car that enthusiasts had been begging for. It was affordable, fun, and proved Toyota could still build something exciting. But it wore a Scion badge, which meant nobody took it seriously. When Scion died in August 2016, the FRS got rebadged as the Toyota 86 and continued production. But the Scion FRS, along with the final TC models, became the last cars to wear the Scion badge. Scion wasn't a failure. It just outlived its purpose. And the FRS proved that sometimes the right car with the wrong badge is still the wrong car. All of those brands were killed by their parent companies. But this one was different. Number 7. Saab 9.5 2011. Saab didn't deserve to die. And the fact that their last car was one of their best makes it even more tragic. The second-generation Saab 9.5, introduced in 2010, was everything Saab needed to be. Sophisticated styling, turbocharged power, Scandinavian design philosophy, and genuinely competitive with BMW and Audi. This wasn't a rebadged Chevy or a parts bin special. This was a real Saab, designed and engineered in Sweden. The 9.5 had a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making 220 horsepower, or you could get a 2.8-liter turbo V6 with 300 horsepower and all-wheel drive. The interior was beautifully designed with Saab's signature wraparound cockpit. It drove well, looked sharp, and finally felt like Saab had figured out how to compete in the modern luxury market. But it was too late. Saab had been struggling financially for years. GM owned them, sold them, and by 2011 the company was bankrupt. Production of the new 9.5 stopped in April 2011. The final Saab ever built, a 9.5 sedan, rolled off the line in Trollhättan, Sweden in May 2012, and then the factory went quiet. About 11,000 second-generation 9.5s were built. That's it. A decade of development, millions of dollars invested, and a genuinely good car that never got a chance to prove itself. Saab's story is long, complicated, and tragic. There's so much more to tell about how they got here, the quirky engineering, the loyal fanbase, and the series of bad decisions that killed a brand with 60 years of history. If you want to see a full deep dive on Saab, how they started, what made them special, and why they ultimately failed, let me know in the comments. There's a much bigger story here. The 9-5 wasn't just the last Saab. It was proof that even when you do everything right, sometimes it's just too late. So there you have it. 7 brands that no longer exist and the last cars they ever built. Some went out strong. The G8 GXP and Sky Redline proved their brands still had talent. Some went out quietly. The Aurora and Grand Marquis just faded away. Some went out weird. The Prowler made sure nobody would forget. And some went out tragically. The Saab 9.5 deserved better. These brands are gone. But the cars they left behind tell us what they were, what they could have been, and why we remember them. Which one surprised you the most? Did any of these brands deserve to survive? And if you want that full Saab deep dive, make some noise in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.